Hi everyone, and welcome back to our SCOM Church channel. We are so glad that you could join us here for our midweek encouragement. This weekend, as I was reflecting on the 20th anniversary of the devastating tragedy of 9/11, I read the horrific transcript of the cockpit voice recorder on United Flight 93. I admit it is debilitating to go through envisioning the violence, death, and last words of the various people on board. And I almost could not bring myself to talk about this. But the light in all this was the bravery and heroism of the passengers who decided to take back the plane from the murderous and suicidal hijackers. I am in awe of how this group of passengers came up with a plan so quickly and carried it out in the face of terror and death. How did they muster up that courage, clarity, and decisiveness? One of the more storied accounts is that of a passenger by the name of Todd Beamer, and from the account of his call to GTE Airphone Supervisor Lisa Jefferson, he asked her to recite with him the Lord's Prayer. And then God reminded me of this verse from Luke chapter 6, verse 45. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure produces evil, for out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks. It's a lesson that I recently shared with my eldest, garbage in, garbage out. So the challenge is then, what shall we choose to fill our eyes, ears, minds, and hearts with? That when various challenges, adversity, or opportunities present themselves, how are we responding? The simplicity of the Lord's Prayer, or Psalm 23, can carry us through the darkest, most desperate times in our lives, even unto death. With that, I would like to read Psalm 23 from the ESV translation. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Todd's famous last words, "Let's roll," was a call to action that derailed a fourth attack on the targeted U.S. Capitol and saved many lives that day by the sacrifice of the lives of everyone on board that plane. According to Todd's father, David Beamer says his son was a highly organized businessman. He kept precise times on his planners. But he didn't know that he would meet his maker at 10 o'clock that day, right? But he was ready. With that, I would like to challenge all of us to be ready, to be filled with all things true, right, pure, noble, excellent, praiseworthy, and beautiful. For out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. Thank you for joining us here for our midweek encouragement on our SCOM Church channel, and we look forward to seeing you here again next week.